Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my wine channel. Today I'm doing another video in my Bordeaux Basics series, and this is my ongoing and last video covering all the fifth growth wines. So this is part 2 of my video on the fifth growth wines of the 1855 classification system. So if you refer to my first video, part 1, you'll know that there was, I think, 17 fifth growth wines, but now one of them has been split up into 2, so now there's 18. And so with part 1, I've covered the first 9. And again, if you recall my other videos, the 1855 classification system was 5 different levels. And even within the level, there was a ranking from top to bottom. So we covered the top 9 in my part 1 video, and this is the bottom 9. And unfortunately, the bottom 9 are kind of they're okay, and so they probably are. Most of them belong in the bottom 9, although there's some that have really stepped it up. As I've said in my previous videos, you'll see a lot of these wines might come from the Pauillac region. And again, why that is perhaps the taste in 1855. The palate was much softer, and now the modern palate likes a little bit more robust taste. So again, if we were reclassifying today, perhaps some of these wines would not be of fifth growth status, and some of the second and third growth wines from Margaux might score a little bit lower. So let's start with the first wine of the bottom 9. So this is the number 10 wine in the ranking system of the fifth growths. This would be Haut-Bages-Libéral. And again, I've got the 86 vintage, which is one of my favorite because it's such a tannic vintage and can last so long. Haut-Bages-Libéral, decent wine, but again, not to the level of some of the other fifth growths at the higher end, like Pontet-Canet, Liège-Bages, the Grand Puy wines. Good wine, but the knock on Haut-Bages-Libéral is that it is a very tannic wine and doesn't have the softness, doesn't have the robustness of fruit that some of the other wines have. Next is a wine that's called Chateau Pédesclaux, which is, if you've seen my other videos, the reason I got into wine, because I bought a bottle of Chateau Pédesclaux, and I'm not sure if it's this bottle, it could be this bottle, 1990. And I bought it based on the bottle. It was like $150 at that time. And I thought, wow, it's great, looks great. It says Grand Cru Classé, and it's $150, it must be great. Well, I did research, and this is one of the underperforming wines at that point. So I didn't react like, oh boy, this is bad. I was like, boy, that was so smart to trick me. And so this story is only working maybe for a couple more years, because the joke is on me, because Chateau Pédesclaux is actually producing some great wines nowadays. I'm not sure what exactly has happened, but there seems to be a renaissance, and this winery is starting to be on the uptake. So I would say, if you would, normally I would say it's in the same or even lower realm than Haut-Bages-Libéral, but I don't know, it's really coming back, and so this could be a sleeper, and this could be a wine that you should watch out for. They're making some good wines. The next wine is a wine called Chateau Belgrave. It's from the Haut-Médoc region. So this wine, a lot of people like this wine. Why? Because it's really affordable. All of the fifth growth wines is usually pretty affordable, like under $100. But that to me is not a reason to buy the wine. My experience with Belgrave is it has always kind of been just there. It's just the wine. It's if you like to say you're drinking growth wines, that's great. But you don't buy a wine just because it's cheap. So it's okay. It's okay. And that's the same thing that I think of the next wine, which I don't have a bottle, is just called Chateau de Camensac. It's got a terrible label. If you've ever seen Chateau Cantemerle, it's terrible. The label is just not very good at all. And the wine is also kind of okay. After that is another wine called Cos Labory from the Saint Estèphe region. Again, very pedestrian wine. And you'll note that I don't actually keep the bottles because I can't, it's so, when I drink these bottles, they're so undescript that I don't even want to keep the bottles. I probably should, but I just forget because they're just not quite memorable at all. The good point is the next wine, which is way down there, almost at the bottom of the fifth growth, called Clerc-Milon. And I'm trying to pronounce this right because for some reason, and other viewers have pointed this out, I somehow twist this somehow weird and say Million. So it's Clerc-Milon. And Clerc-Milon is the sister of the d'Armagnac wine. So the d'Armagnac wine's got two kind of one dancer, so Clerc-Milon's got two. And in modern times, I would think that most people prefer Clerc-Milon to d'Armagnac, and even in pricing. So I think this has been a wine that's really stepped up and does not really belong at the bottom and really belongs much more at the top. And I would probably say that I would prefer this to any, if you just judge this, the bottom 9 as a group, I would say this is the top wine of this group. Next wine is a wine that I don't have again called Croizet Haut-Bages, and it's gone from Pauillac, and I would lump that in the same as Haut-Bages-Libéral. Again, Pédesclaux, but Pédesclaux, again, I think it's doing some weird stuff, some good stuff. I'm not willing to write it off yet, and I'm hearing some good stuff from it, so I may drink it shortly. And then the last wine that made the cut is Cantemerle. And an interesting story is Cantemerle was actually left off the list originally, and the original list didn't have them, but they made a mistake, and so they added them back on. So that's the only two changes that ever made. The one is that Mouton, Chateau Mouton Rothschild was changed from a second growth and it was elevated to first growth. And I think, I'll have it in the comment section, I think a couple years later they actually figured out that Cantemerle should have made the list but didn't. Again, I would say Cantemerle is very similar to Belgrave, maybe a little bit better, but again, a lot of people drink it because it's affordable, and I don't think that's a reason enough to drink these wines. So in general, this group, other than Clerc-Milon and maybe Pédesclaux, is not that exciting, and I guess the only good thing about it is they're affordable, and they're an affordable way to drink growth wines. But honestly, if you look at my fourth growth video, there's lots of great fourth growths in there that are probably the same price and probably give you a little bit better quality. And I would only drink a lot of these wines just for experience purposes. Go ahead and drink them. But I think that you'll have the same experience as me, which is, okay, that was interesting to drink, but I don't really want to drink this again. But maybe tell me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to kind of hear other people's views on things, because these are all my personal opinions, and I may have personal preferences and idiosyncrasies and biases, so I'd love to hear what my viewers and subscribers have to say. Now we come to the fun part of this video, which is where viewers can vote for the wine that I'm gonna taste and review. I'm gonna put that in my community section. So the two fifth growths that I have in my cellar right now, I have the 2015 Haut-Bages and I have the 2014, I think I have the Belgrave, 2014 Belgrave. And then what I can get at the BC liquor stores is the 2018 Pontet-Canet, and let's throw in the 2018 d'Armagnac because I've already done a review of Clerc-Milon. I always have my preferences, and I always have what I think viewers are going to vote for, but I've been wrong many times, so I'm really interested in seeing how the vote will go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm really interested in other people's views of these wines. Let's talk about it. If you don't agree, that's okay. And until next time, happy drinking.